And we are live.
Ooh, we're
Hey.
live.
Ooh, nice, deep baritone voice. Let's get started. Here we go. There we are. Thank you for joining us on a Thursday evening and welcome to Caching in the Northwest. This is the only podcast dedicated to geocaching in the Great Pacific Northwest. We're going to talk about caches and caches unique to this little corner of the continent. So while you're picking the bits you don't like out of the granola, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
Hey,
And we
hey,
can't do
Chris.
that.
Chris,
Oh,
before
yes.
before you keep going,
Yeah.
I gotta let you know, halfway through the music, it got really quiet and nobody can hear you.
Oh, well, thank you for letting me know that. Is this a little better?
It's getting better.
It's getting better. That's interesting. Okay, here we go. Hello there.
There we go.
So while you're picking the bits you don't like out of the granola, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
Awesome. Hey,
Are
folks.
there,
There we go. Yeah, we got betters in the chat now. Thank you very much, folks in the chat.
well, guys, thank you for letting me know all this. I appreciate you all. You've already heard them, already heard him, but it's time to bring in our benevolent baboon. Some say he is the international podcast champion. And others say, when asked if he would run for prime minister, he'd just laugh. Nothing makes him run. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Hey, I am the self-proclaimed podcast champion of the world, so I definitely will go along with that one. And I don't think I would ever want to be prime minister. I don't know. That's just one of those jobs that not interested. Thanks. Eh,
It would be a hard act to follow with this current one.
yeah,
I don't know if that's good or bad, but it would be a hard act to
I
follow.
don't think I'm pretty enough. I don't think I could. So hey, you know what? Um, so while I appreciate not being prime minister, what I appreciate even more are our patrons. And folks, I want to thank you very much for your ongoing support each month to help this podcast come. Every week, Chris and I, or Jim and I, or Jim and Chris, or just me, somebody is here to put on.
Rarely is it all three. I don't think it has been for a couple of months.
I can't recall the last time all three of us have been together. It's very sad. But you know what? You guys know what to do. Wits End at Wits End on Twitter. Let him know you miss him. He's busy working tonight, so he couldn't make it to join us. But like I said, patrons on Patreon. I always stumble over that. I don't know why, but anyways, thank you very much, each and every one of you guys. We'll of course shout you out at the end of the show as we always do. But if you're curious about what we're talking about here, click the Patreon link on the cachingandw.com website.
That's right. And you know what? While you're over there clicking and doing all those things, let's read you a glow. That's a geocaching log of the week. This one comes from Geoloafing. Isn't that a great name? He found the Holiday TB Hotel. Day trip to Portland from Seattle provided some random opportunities to find prizes, traveling with a muggle friend who did the driving, leaving the Cottywomple navigation to me. That's a word I've never seen before, Cottywomple.
Yeah.
I understand it in the sentence, and I don't think it's a good thing.
Google.
Earlier in the week, finding GC5FZDA, I did that for you, Land Monkey, was such a delight. I researched other beauties by this cache owner and put this on my radar. It's way into the darkness and almost tomorrow, but being this close, I had to detour for the possibility. It's Saturday night and the parking lot reminded me of Mardi Gras. Party on. I snuck around to ground zero with a trusty flashlight, fiddled some more, refilled until success. Cool, amazing, absolutely worth the side trip on an already overextended wandering. Had there been daylight, I'd consider, uh, playing back on the cover. What fun. Someone thought pushing on the lights to gain access was a good idea. It's not. Don't. Look elsewhere for a more obvious way to simulate the light unlock sequence. There you go. That's Holiday TB Hotel by one of our good friends, Bounce Bounce.
Hey,
And
before you go on, cottywomple. It's an English slang word. The definition is to travel in a purposeful manner towards a vague destination.
I would not have guessed that.
I had to Google it, so there you go.
Cottywomple.
Cottywomple.
I've
Sounds
done that.
it sounds mostly like pretty much any hashtag geocache road trip. Travel
Hashtag Cottywomple.
hashtag cottywomple.
It's a caching
Extra
Cottywomple.
Oh, that's awesome.
What do you think? Do you think we could do a hashtag caching Cottywomple?
I think we could get there.
Okay.
All right. What else you got?
Well, if you're a regular listener to this podcast, you know we have a contest going. We want you to be a DNF Avenger. And we've asked. Oh, we've asked. Send in your DNF stories, and we've gotten some. We've also gotten some audio. And you know what? I want to take an opportunity to play that right here and right now.
This is Seebeck Tribe with their DNF Adventure story. Started in March of 2007 with my mom, who has passed, two kids, Nana Bear, Papa Bear, Crazy, and I, to find the green monster. We crawled, climbed, squeezed inside the big green hedge to search for the container. After 45 to 60 minutes of searching, we came up empty-handed and walked away. Over the years, I have wanted to avenge this DNF. Earlier this month, which has been 11 years later, I made the trip back over to the area with the goal to turn the upside-down frown into a smile. This time, I teamed up with Bugs59 and Stash Sleuth with her son. We arrived at Ground Zero and began to search. We searched 30 to 45 minutes. About ready to give up for a second time, I gave it one more attempt, and bingo, I spotted that little devil of a container, which was followed by a victory dance inside the big green hedge.
That is awesome. Seebeck Tribe, thank you very much for sending that in. We love hearing your guys' stories in your own voice, and especially DNF Avenger stories.
How big is this hedge that you can do a victory dance inside it?
It sounds pretty big.
Yeah. Now, I have to say, wasn't that better than the way we would have read it?
Oh, yes.
There was so much more emotion and insight into that reading than if we had just read about what is on the screen in front of us in a very robotic voice, as we tend to do.
And the accents were on the right words in the sentence. So it worked very well.
In the right syllable. Hey, I mentioned it. We are doing the DNF Avenger contest right now. The next draw, actually the first draw, is next week. Next Thursday, we're going to draw for the first winner of this $25 Gold Country gift certificate donated by our friend Subway Mark.
Two $25 Gold Country gift certificates.
Two, because what's better than one? Two. Yeah.
Hey, and that's a reminder, folks, that lots of you are entered into the contest. You've been posting on social media. You've sent us DNF Avenger emails. You've sent audios. Thank you very much, Seebeck Tribe. That's awesome. Keep it up, because the more you send, the more entries you get, the better your chances of winning the first prize. And you'll still be even if you don't win the first prize, you'll still have chances to win the subsequent prizes that are coming. So
That's right. We've got the main prize, but we have more. We're not gonna leave you out there hanging. Land Monkey, what's the best way to enter?
Um, Pay me Timbits.
No, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Oh,
Okay. The best way to enter is to email us your DNF story.
okay.
Email to feedback@cashingnw.com, or as Seebeck Tribe did, and I know you all enjoyed it, call in 253-693-TFTC. Use that handy voicemail tool on the website. Anyway, we want to hear your voice talking about your DNF avenging story.
I've got two other ways to enter the contest.
Oh, please.
You can use Twitter or Facebook and just use the hashtag DNF Avengers. Make sure you tag either me or Caching NW so that we know about it, and we'll reshare it, and you'll get your entries into the contest.
That's right. Now, you heard Seebeck Tribe as they told their story of their DNF avenging.
They set the bar.
They set the bar, and it's quite high. Dora Moore also sent in an email of her DNF avenging story, and I want to give you an example of what it could be like for you if you wanted to send in an email to feedback@cashingnw.com. She starts off, "Hi guys, my most memorable DNF has to be on GC Kilo Charlie 6 G.
That's an upside down 6.
Oh man,
9G. Golf.
golf. Okay. Kilo Charlie Niner golf. Sorry guys. I'm human." She goes on to say, "Ted, the Boardwalk Beagle. It's a wonderful 7-stage multi that takes you for a 2-kilometer walk along the Halifax waterfront, gathering info on the history of the area. I found the first 6 stages and did the math, and it put me about 20 meters from a traditional cache I'd find there a year before. Here's my first log. The CO contacted me within hours and told me to go ahead and log a found it because I've done the legwork. I told her thanks, but no, I'd come back again next year when I was home for another visit. And I did. Here's my second log. The CO contacted me immediately and pleaded with me to log the find. I told her I was a stubborn old maritime woman, and if my name wasn't on the log book, I wouldn't claim it as a find. So she asked me if I was going to be in the area again that week. She works in one of the buildings on the waterfront, and she offered to meet me at ground zero during her lunch break and help me find it. Here's my final found it log from 2 days later. I didn't realize the proximity rules didn't apply to all the stages of a multi back in 2004 when it was placed. So I didn't give the area a thorough enough search on my first visit, knowing there was another cache just 20 meters away. It actually was missing the second time I was there. Go figure. But what fun. Hashtag DNF Avenger." Thank you, Dora Moore.
Very nice. That's awesome. Great. Well, great stories. So great to get your DNF Avenger stories from all you guys. I've been loving reading through the various stories and photos on Twitter, um, and Facebook as well. There's been some posting on Facebook on it, so it's fun. It's really fun for us to hear this stuff from you guys. We love sharing it back out to the rest of the community, and people are going to win prizes. So everybody wins, and you avenged a DNF on top of all of that. So it just doesn't get any better than that.
It really doesn't. I mean, to get that frowny face off of your map and make it a smiley is the best. And if you want to make your actual face a smiley, perhaps you would consider looking at the DNF Avenger shirts there on Caching NW. Yes, I put up shirts for the DNF Avengers.
But not just the DNF Avengers. I think
Oh, what?
we had some feedback in the chat last week, and Chris went away and did some quick design work and put together I think there's a hashtag FATAS shirt,
There is the hashtag FATAS shirt.
and there's one other one. What's the other one?
The research department. It says,
Ah,
"I am the research department."
nice.
CachingNW.com.
That is awesome. Nice work, man. So yeah, go check it out.
Oh, they're fun. It's just something fun to do. If you're interested, go look at one.
There you go. Show up the next event looking pretty unique.
Oh man. You go there with the research department shirt and they're going to want to know all about it.
Awesome. Well, should we dive into tonight's topic?
We have a topic.
We do.
Oh, let's do this. I'm going to hold my breath and we're going to dive.
All right. Well, what we're going to talk about tonight, guys, is we're going to start a series. They're not going to be linear. There's going to be gaps, and every once in a while we'll pop up another one of these episodes. But they're episodes to help folks who are new to geocaching and maybe stumbled across this podcast, or maybe you know someone who's interested in geocaching. You can point them to this episode. Tonight, we're going to talk all about how to get started with geocaching. What's it all about? How do you get started? With some good advice to just get your feet wet and get going?
What's it all about, Alfie? So, if you're brand new and this podcast is the first one you've heard on geocaching, let us tell you that geocaching is an outdoor adventure game where you are the search engine and you navigate, or maybe you cottywomple to a specific set of GPS coordinates and then attempt to find the geocache or a container. Okay, we'll make it a container hidden at that location. When you find it, sign your name on the log sheet. It could be an individual sheet of paper, it could be a small book. Replace the container just as you found it, and then go log your find online.
I think that summarizes the game quite well, Chris. Now, that's the general principles of how to play the game. Now, what you'll learn the more you hang out with geocachers and the more you listen to geocaching podcasts is there's a lot of forget it. Intricacies. No. Wow. That word is not coming out of my mouth. There's a lot of details to this game that you will learn over time that people care to differing levels about, just like anything else that you really get excited about. We'll talk about that a little bit more later, but that's really the guts of the game is navigate. You get a set of coordinates and some information to help you get to where the geocache is hidden. You get to the general area, you find it, then using your mad detective skills. Inside that geocache container will be some sort of piece of paper that you put your name on, put everything back the way you found it, and then you log it online. So then the question is, okay, log it online. Well, one of the big things people always ask when they're starting the game is, do you play with a GPSR or do you play with a smartphone? Like, how do you start? We started, us land monkeys, with a GPS, but we had a GPS, and that's kind of how we got started with it. And that was a few years ago, before smartphone caching was as easy as it is today. So honestly, if somebody was starting the game or curious about trying it out, I would highly recommend that they use the smartphone and not worry about the GPSR version of the game.
I completely agree with you. I started off before smartphones. Yes, let me tell you how old I am, Sonny.
Mhm.
And GPSR was the only way to go. And it was cool to have a GPS that, you know, a handheld GPS that could guide your, oh, look at this. This is a cool piece of tech I've got. And it was fun. But now with your smartphones, there's absolutely no reason you need a GPS to start out with. Many people like them. They, you know, they have their purpose, they have their place. But if you're just starting out, use that smartphone. You can go to the website, geocaching.com, log in there, create an account. You can also download the app, put that on your smartphone. That's going to give you a lot more flexibility than the website. Again, you'll still have to create an account, but you'll have tools to get you right to the geocache location. Hey, look at who we have here. Speaking of geocache locations, we have Wits End on location.
I'm on location. I'm on a different location. Yeah. It's an undisclosed location, although front seat has been my nights the past 2 days. So, and I'll just say that San Fernando Valley, nighttime freeway construction, it's almost enough to make you lose your religion.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, buddy.
It's not all that bad, but yeah, I'm traveling for work I'm down.
You've gone dark.
Yeah, I've gone rogue.
You really
But,
don't want
let's
us to
see.
know where you are.
Yeah, it's totally here. I'll come over here. I'll come into the light. It's so beautiful.
Did you pull over to find a cache?
No, I actually didn't on this trip, but I hope to on the way back. Maybe, I don't know. I did just see a billboard just 20 miles from here that said superwomansuperlawyer.com. It's like everything's super nowadays.
You know, I saw
Followed by a
Super
billboard
Glue the
from
other day.
Jessica's Insurance. Now that's inspired. There you go.
I remember Superwoman, Super Lawyer, and I thought, why? Anyway, it didn't inspire
Hey,
me.
but I'm interrupting a. You guys have got geocaching things to talk about. My apologies.
Not a problem. It's always good to see you, buddy. I assume you're
I
not
miss hanging out with you
you're-
guys on Tuesdays. Hopefully next week. I don't know.
That's understandable. We miss you. I assume you're not quite at your destination yet, so safe travels.
I literally just parked the truck at my destination. I haven't unpacked it on anything, so
Okay.
I'm stopped traveling for the night. But
Well, thanks for calling in. Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Good to see you.
wanted to thank you.
Glad you got there safe.
You guys too. Thank you. We'll talk to you guys hopefully next week, if not before. Ciao.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Good night, buddy.
Well,
So,
surprise.
yeah, there was a surprise from the third member of the podcast crew. So now, when is the last time all three of us have been on the podcast at one time? None of us can say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah.
Yeah. So
right.
there we go.
So, yeah, we're talking about download the app, set up an account. That's how you get started. One of the cool things about the new app, the official app, so
meaning the geocaching.com app.
Geocaching.com, because this is the other thing. There's a lot of geocaching apps and you can download them. But if you're not an experienced geocacher, some of them are just going to confuse you, to be quite honest.
Some of them confuse me, and I'm an experienced geocacher.
There you go. So I would really recommend people start with the official geocaching.com app. And that app is set up that it has little tutorials that play to really prompt you through the whole process of how to get started. So really, it's a good way to get going.
It really is. And those tutorials are going to show you, oh, this is this type of geocache. There are multiple types of geocaches. You're going to want to look for the basic or the traditional geocache, which is just a container hidden at a location. It may be a location that you've walked past for years and never realized there was anything hidden there. And suddenly your eyes are going to be open. You're going to look and you're going to go, all these geocaches are hidden around me, and I never knew it.
You're bridging the parallel universe.
Exactly. That whole thrill of the hunt comes into play, and you're really going, you're talking to a geocacher or 2 or 27, how many ever are listening live. You're really going to fall in love with this game. It is a thrill to go find something that other people are walking by every day and never looking at.
Absolutely.
So I mentioned traditionals, or the basic, the standard geocache. That's what you're going to want to look for first. As I said, there are many different types, but these are the easiest. It's a container hidden, sometimes in plain sight, sometimes with a little bit of camouflage, in an area relatively close to you. You're going to find a geocache easily within a mile of your location, if not closer.
Yep. Sounds pretty good.
If you're using the official geocaching.com app, it's going to show you the 3 closest geocaches, and they're all going to be relatively easy to find. Read the description. The description is going to tell you maybe a little history of the area. It's going to tell you maybe about the container or a little bit about the hide. And then there's also a hint. Now, there are different schools of philosophy on this. I like to read the hint before going in. Some people don't. That's up to you. You know what? If this is your first geocache find, go ahead and read that hint. a little insight onto exactly what the hider was thinking and where it is.
Awesome. Yeah, spot on. And as we're going through this stuff, if you guys in the chat have ideas or suggestions around things you think are important for new cachers to know as they get started playing the game, shout them out, and we'd be glad to get your feedback. All right. So uh, we mentioned that you sign up on the website or in the app, and you create an account. Now, it's important to know that there are two levels of membership. There's a free membership and there's a paid membership, or they call it premium, the paid membership. Now, the paid membership is 30 bucks. Make sure I get that
Yep.
right. 30 bucks
$30 US.
a year. It's not bad. If you play the game a lot, it's actually almost not even, it's a negligible cost really, but that's the difference. So the question is, if you're just starting out, if you haven't played before, do you just go with the free membership, or should you get a paid membership right away?
You know, I like the idea of starting with the free membership. It's not going to cost you anything. Give it a try. You could stay on the free membership for your entire geocaching career, I guess we're going to call it, your whole geocaching experience. And you're really not going to miss out on that much. You're still going to have a fun time. Go out with friends, find a hidden container, and sign your name on the log and put it back. And then while you're sitting and having drinks, you can relive your glory days of finding all these hidden containers. And people go, I had no idea those were out there.
Well, hey, on the topic of I had no idea those were out there, Bounce in the chat just shared his first piece of advice to new geocachers, that light skirts lift up. So if you're listening to this podcast and you don't know what he's talking about, if basically when you look at the base of a flagpole or a lampstand or anything like that, there's usually a dome shaped metal or plastic lid kind of thing that goes around the pole and then down to the ground. Those lift up. And quite often, that's where the geocache is. So there you go. Spoiler alert. But
Yeah.
if you're
First time I found
caching,
one,
that's
it
a
blew
big
my
tip.
mind.
That's a big tip. So thanks, Bounce. All right. So yeah, I would agree with you. I would say start with the free membership. If you're into it and you keep going, then definitely, if you think, yeah, I'd probably find a few caches a month, it's probably worth the paid membership at that point.
Mhm.
If you try it, you find a couple and you're like, this is just not for me, that's okay. But then you haven't paid anything, you haven't lost anything except a bit of time.
Exactly. If you're into it, suddenly you realize, oh, this paid membership gives me so much more advantage. It's worth it. So it's one of those things you'll discover over time, and you'll come to a point and you go, oh, this is completely worth it for what I want to do.
Right on. Yeah, and I'm noticing the chat's starting to get busy, so we'll grab some of those, some of you guys' comments as we keep moving here.
Now, I consider this a game or a hobby. As with any other game or hobby, there's a lot of acronyms or custom words that only work in certain environments, right? You're going to come across a lot of acronyms like TFTC,
DNF.
DNF. Yeah. Thank you for the cash. Did not find. You're going to learn these as time goes on. Don't be intimidated that you look at this and go, I don't know what they just said here. You know what? When you sign a log, you just put in your geocaching name on the paper and you're good. When you log online, speak however you speak normally. Hey, I had fun finding this. Thanks. That's a great log. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't have to be a geocaching log of the week with an incredible description to it. It can just be something simple that sounds like your own voice.
There you go. And speaking of putting your name on things, Dora Moore had said another piece of advice is to, when you choose your name, your login name, your account name, that's going to be your geocaching name, and if you stick with the hobby, you're going to be using that a lot for a long time, and it's also going to be something that people will start to refer to you as. That's how they'll get to know you.
Is that true, Land Monkey?
Yeah, right. So her advice is to choose a caching name that's short and easy to write, which is good advice if you're going to end up writing it a lot.
Exactly. Chris of the Northwest, not necessarily easy to write all the time. However, I abbreviate it CNW. There you go.
There you go. So I think we've talked about whether you play a little or play a lot, and it's one thing you should be aware of before you start if you're new to this game. This game can be addictive. So definitely sharing this advice as a non-recovering geocaching addict, myself,
Non-recovering. I love that.
um, you can really get into this, and that's awesome. You can have so much fun with it, but if not everybody in your family is into it, then you need to, you need to be cognizant of how that's impacting other members of your family. So think about that kind of stuff, just like anything else. Yeah, IHAM shares. Some folks consider it a hobby. For many, it is actually an obsession. But admitting you have a problem is the first step. So there you go. So I've done
Oh,
the
I
first
admit I have a problem,
step.
but I'm not looking to solve it right
No,
now.
that's about where we're going to get to.
Oh, and it could be an obsession. I find that going out with friends, in fact, my first several geocache finds were with Wits End, who we just saw in the dark, or maybe didn't see well. My first several geocache finds were with him. So I went out with a friend. And, as you're learning something new, it's always good to go out with a friend, to bounce ideas off of each other and figure out, oh, this is what they mean when they say this. So,
Yeah,
um,
there's
you know,
definitely there's also depending on where you're going and when you're going, safety and numbers perspective
mhm,
as well. So there's a couple of reasons why it's good to go out with friends, and sometimes it's just fun to do something like this with more people.
exactly.
Sometimes it makes it easier to find things. All right. What else do we have? I saw some other good advice in here. Um, UDAC shared their advice for newbies, which is when you're writing your logs online, helpful hints and info are okay, but don't post spoilers. Don't post a photo of the cache, particularly not of the cache in its hiding location, and don't write a detailed description in your log of I got to ground zero and I wasn't sure where to look, so I looked in the third knot up on the tree, and that's exactly where I found it. That kind of takes the fun away for other people. So um, the cache owner may not delete your log or scramble it, but other people might get a little annoyed.
Yeah. That again, I mentioned earlier the thrill of the hunt. Sometimes it's just very exciting to find something on your own without any hints or clues, just by looking around the environment and seeing something that doesn't quite fit. Or maybe it fits very well
Yeah.
and you overlook it several times as I have.
Yeah. Other advice that came in is go to an event. That's great advice. Um, was that Start Casher, I think, shared.
Starcasher. Mhm.
Yeah, said look for local events and go to some. You'll be welcomed, which you will for sure, and the people there can answer any questions or concerns that you might have. So, um, when you're looking at the geocaching map on your phone, the events are they look like little speech bubbles, and if you click on it, you'll get the information basically at a preset time. You go to that location, and other geocachers will be there. Sometimes it's a coffee shop, sometimes it's a park. Um, it's usually one of those two places, but it can be almost anywhere um, within the guidelines of geocaching. But we won't go down that road right now. But you show up at the location at the appointed time, and um, you'll be able to identify the geocachers most times.
Yeah, after you've been in this for a little bit, you can see a geocacher a mile away. There's something unique about them. We'll leave it there.
You can,
Uh,
yeah.
but going to a geocaching event allows you to make friends within this hobby, sport, obsession, whatever you want to call it. and those friends will want to go out geocaching with you. So it's an opportunity to meet some people, learn some tricks of the trade, learn some of that lingo, those acronyms that may seem a little daunting at first, but you'll find geocachers are good people and they're willing to help.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely something you'll find if you go to events like Start Cacher's Head. All right. What else have we got here? One of the principles of geocaching that you'll see written and communicated often is take something, leave something. And the premise being that if you want to participate in the game this way, you don't have to. But when you go to the cache and you open it up, particularly if it's a larger sized cache, there will be things inside it. Now, some of those things are intended for you to take out of the cache, but if you do that, you're asked to leave something of equal or greater value in replacement of the thing you took out. Now, that's what's called swag, or stuff we all get, is I think the common acronym for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just little tchotchkes and toys and key rings and sometimes other slightly collectible things. And the idea is that if there's something in there that appeals to you, um, you take that and you leave something of an equal or greater value in return, and you put the cash away. So that's sort of the swag side of the game. But there's another piece of the game we don't have time to get into in depth, but we will have a separate episode on it. And Chris, that's the trackables.
Trackables, yes. Trackables are game pieces. They're designed to move from cache to cache. Some of them even have goals of, wanting to reach a particular location. But again, we're going to talk about those in the future. These are not things you take and keep, but maybe you move them onto another cache or help them to reach a goal. Either way, like I say, we'll talk about that in a future episode. Don't get too hung up on this. Um,
Yeah.
if you see something, you go, "Oh, that's nice. That's appealing." Leave something of approximate value. That's all we're asking.
Right. And trackables, the easiest way to tell, probably 80% of the trackables are going to have some sort of tag attached to them, an aluminum tag that'll have the travel bug icon, and it looks like a scarab beetle with a barcode in the middle of it. So if you see that, it's a travel bug. It means it's intended to move from cache to cache, not to be held as a personal collectible thing. So you can remove it from the cache as long as you plan to put it in a different cache. And there's a whole system to logging them and moving them properly that we'll talk about in the future. But anyways, that's trackables versus swag. And yeah, I am in the chat is very clear to say travel bugs are not swag, which absolutely.
Looking around, I know I've got a travel bug here somewhere, and I've got one here. I'm trying to get it out of the bag so I can show it onto the camera.
All right.
Just there we go. Just talk a little bit longer and I can do this.
Great. So while you're doing that, again, we're getting lots of great feedback in the chat. Dora Moore said her caching problem is that she doesn't have enough time to go caching. I think that's a very common caching problem. We talked about the events, talked about not putting spoilers in your logs. On the topic of logs, Team Finn Cameron wrote, please write more than TFTC. So there you go. So that's Chris is holding up to the camera. If you're watching this as the video, the YouTube video, you can see right there.
There's your travel. I am purposely covering up the code. There is a code at the bottom of this that, is on there. This actually is the one for my car. So there's part of the code. And I don't think it's gonna work out on the camera. It can't. There it goes. Can't figure out what to do.
That's hilarious. Someone in your car and it starts with C0P.
Yes, this one was given to me by Cash Advance.
That's hilarious.
It's very funny. So it's a travel bug. It's an aluminum tag. You can, and on the back it tells you that
has the instructions of what to do.
Has the instructions of what to do.
Super helpful.
Yeah. Do not keep this item. Move it on. And you can find out more at Groundspeak or geocaching.com. So
and now it's geocaching.com, not Groundspeak.
Yeah, I realized that as soon as I said it.
That's funny. Hey, Start Casher in the chat also said another great piece of advice for people who are new to the game and want to find out more about it and get into playing it some more. Join your local geocaching organization Facebook page. You can get information, ask questions, and electronically meet other geocachers, which is
That
great advice.
that's a great way to do it. There's so many Facebook groups and pages that not only related to geocaching, but millions of others otherwise. And people are very used to this. So yeah, find a Facebook group and join that.
Awesome.
So we've talked about grabbing the app, grabbing a friend, heading on out, finding a cache, um, sign the log, put it back the way you found it, learn the difference between swag and trackables, and maybe go to an event and learn some more, meet some new and interesting people.
I think that kind of wraps it up. If you're
Mhm.
new to geocaching, that's how you get started with playing the game. But I really love the advice of going to an event and meeting other cachers, because then they'll really be able to coach you along and help make it more fun for you. But yeah, so if you're new to caching, first of all, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for listening. We hope this has been helpful for you. And take that advice and tune in next week when we're going to talk about more geocaching stuff.
Yeah, each week we meet here, we talk about a different aspect of geocaching. It's a very broad and diverse hobby that we're involved in. Um, you know, like I say, we meet here, we talk live, we have people in the chat, and it's just a group of friends getting together. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Well, we want to thank you for tuning in. Remember to stay tuned for hashtag FATAS, the after show coming up shortly here. But thanks for tuning in and listening to us. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Caching the Northwest. Remind you, we've got some great shows coming up. Next week, May 3rd, we've got Goblin Dust joining us. We're going to talk about some big events going on in the Northwest. On May 10th is episode 250. And in honor of May 10th and Mother's Day, that is going to be our Mother's Day special. We're going to have a real mother of a show.
Wow, you went there. Following that, on May 17th, we're going to talk about the Tri-Cities Geocoin Challenge with Jen Davis and JD Parkman. May 24th, getting started with multi-caches. That's another one of these shows for beginning geocachers. We talked about the traditionals or the basic geocache. This one involves multiple stages. They can be a lot of fun.
Right on. Well, we want to take this opportunity right here to thank our faithful Denali level supporters. That's Bounce Bounce, Team Squirrel, and WorldCaching.com. If you want to know more about supporting the show, click that Patreon link on the CachingNW.com website. And now for the moment where I take a deep breath and then I thank every single one of you guys who supports us every month, and we appreciate every one of you so much. B Pendragon, Broncos fan for life, Sprouter, Camp Clan, Tick Magnet, Kev MacD, Subway Mark, Dora Moore, Dune Buddy, Kid Vegas 19, Geo Nav, Pros, Wino, Seattle, Ackerdoc, OBX Geek, Billy Robson, Nice, Antaeus, Keats 94, and Curiosity Girl.
Wow, that was very well done. I'll just pause here while Land Monkey catches his breath because I saw his face turning a little red. I think he was on the verge of passing out. But until next week, where can our listeners, even our brand new ones, Land Monkey, find you on the interwebs and ask you questions and learn to geocache from such a great person as yourself?
Oh, gee, thanks. You know what? We would love for you to follow us Twitter, Instagram, Periscope at LandMonkeyGC. We're constantly posting stuff about geocaching and our hashtag geocache road trip adventures. So you can see the kind of places we go and some of the geocaches we find. All right. Hey, and if you want to see some of our videos all about geocaching, follow us on YouTube. Just search for Land Monkey, LANMONKEY on YouTube. All right, my friend, how about you?
Look for Caching NW. That could be on Twitter, Facebook, Google Plus, anywhere you can find Caching NW. That's going to be me. You know what? Head on over to cashingnw.com/hosts, and you can read our bios and find all the links that we just mentioned and a few secret ones that we never tell anyone about. We expect you to go over there and find them on your own.
That's right. Well, folks, I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in Northwest. Remember that you can be a part of the show by calling 253-693-TFTC, leaving us a comment, asking us a question, or giving us a piggyback ride to Ground Zero any time of the day or night. Of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingandw.com. Also, your support helps to keep quality shows coming. So if you enjoyed this show, please click the Patreon link on the cachingandw.com website and subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and more. This show is produced by Chris Umfenauer and Jay Kennedy, hosted by Christian Jim Powitz. Show is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Copy all right. 2018 by Chris Umfenauer. And now, stay tuned for... You played the audio, but I couldn't hear it. So, the after show.
The after show.
There it is. All right.
Oh, folks, if you're brand new to Caching in the Northwest podcast, we have what we call
the after show.
It's just fun to play that sound bit. It's a time where we have an opportunity to talk with the people who are listening live. There's a chat there you want to join in. You can ask us any question. It possibly would be geocaching related, but it doesn't have to be. And it's just an opportunity for us to talk with you in a more intimate one-on-one setting, kind of like we're sitting at a coffee shop together.
Yeah, kind of like a geocaching event.
Oh, but much more virtual.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of that, at the big geocaching event that's coming up in Richmond, Chris and I are going to be there. We're going to do a live show during the lunch break.
What?
I know. I keep telling you this and you keep forgetting every week. So I really hope you show up.
When is this? I've already got it planned.
May 6th. So.
Oh, wait. No, I don't have it planned. I was going to come on the 7th.
Okay. Yeah, don't come on Monday. There won't be anybody there.
No. Sunday, May 6th at what's the location again? Is it the only place I've ever been to in Richmond?
It's the only place you've ever been to in Richmond. It's the Richmond Nature Park. It's called BC CacheCon 2018.
Yeah. That's the only place I've ever been to in Richmond.
Right, I'm waiting for the research department to remind me what the GC code is, but that'll pop up.
That's the Tri-Cities.
So I also saw Bounce in the chat asking about some stuff about the event. So Bounce, with your question, why don't you contact me directly and we can discuss it and figure out. That'll be good. What else have we got? Keats94 says, #Fatas, I'm organizing a geocaching field course for some of my coworkers in Pacific Spirit Park near UBC. Hopefully I'll get some more people into the hobby. Awesome. Way to go, Keats.
Nicely done.
Yeah. Hey, Keats, tell them about CacheCon. See if they want to come out and check out that. That'll be some good stuff there. This is the thing about CacheCon. So if you're new to geocaching, and you probably, I don't know if you'll listen to this episode in time for May 6th, but come on out to Richmond. We're actually it's basically like a mini conference all about geocaching. It's for all levels of geocachers. There's multiple tracks of sessions going on. There's going to be, we're bringing in expert speakers on a variety of different topics. We're going to have a whole section of discussions about getting started with geocaching, how to solve puzzles in geocaching. We're going to have wilderness first aid. We're going to talk about safety when you're out geocaching in the woods. There's going to be somebody from the Vancouver Photo Club who's going to be teaching about taking better photos when you're out geocaching. Identifying plants and trees. We've got a Dr. Hugh, I can't remember his last name, but I'm just going to call him Dr. Hugh. He's a botanist who's coming out and he's going to be giving a class on identifying local trees and plants. So
Dr. Hugh, first name we are?
Yeah. Something like that. Anyways, all kinds of great stuff. Cool things to do. Definitely get it.
Nice.
In the chat. It's GC 7K FRR.
And there you go, laughing again.
Hmm.
FRRRR.
And speaking of events, a reminder, Team Finn Cameron's reminding us that Sherpa Bob's birthday is 2 to 4 p.m. in Fairwood. That's another event.
Yes.
G7N4WV, I think.
You got it. Sherpa Bob having a birthday. Congratulations. Happy birthday to you. You know what? As a special treat, we're going to have Land Monkey sing a unique song, a song that he's just composed right here on the spot. Go ahead, Land Monkey.
Oh, right now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Impromptu.
Okay. It's Sherpa Bob's birthday. It's a big event to go to. You really should go to Fairwood from 2 to 4 p.m.
There you go. I should cut that clip out and email it to him. That could be his new ringtone.
Nah, we have to come up with something better than that for a ringtone.
But there you go, Sherpa Bob. There's your own birthday song from Land Monkey, created on the spot. No one's ever had that song sung to them before.
It's pretty unique. I'm
Team
pretty
Finn
special.
claps.
Thank you, Team Finn. Like I said on Geo Gearheads earlier, my mom kept telling me every day as I got on the short bus, I'm pretty special.
Yeah. Apparently, the Finn house is full of applause at the moment.
Awesome. There you go.
Or applesauce. I might have read that wrong.
Yeah. I hope it's not full of applesauce.
Oh, nice.
What else we got going on there?
Start Cachers leaving in the morning for a 4-day geocaching road trip to the Chicago area for the Six Flags Great America, and geocaching also to find Beverly as number 5,000. Wow, that's impressive, Star Cacher.
Nice. That's awesome. I think Beverly is the oldest cache in
the oldest active cache in the U.S.
In the U.S.
Maybe in the world.
I thought Mingo was. I get confused. What's special about these? Is Beverly the oldest one in that state?
Maybe it's the second oldest.
Yeah. Anyways, very cool. Either way, very cool. And a 4-day geocache road trip. Nice. Have fun, Star Cacher. Be safe. Cache often. Cache safely.
It was a week after Mingo, so it's the second oldest cache.
Okay. There you go.
There you go.
Coolio. All right.
So Beverly is in the Chicago. I know it's in Illinois. I think it's in the Chicago area, where Mingo is in Kansas.
Oh.
Or it's not in Kansas anymore. I don't remember.
I got
that. You know how many years I've been waiting for that one?
Well done.
Thank you.
You're very patient with your dad jokes.
Yeah. Oh, I've got so many. I don't really have to be patient.
There you go. Yeah, I'm just scrolling through. I don't see any other hashtag FATAS that we need to wample our way through.
Alpines said, another hint is to watch Caching in the Northwest. They answer all the FATAS questions and help you out. So if you're new to geocaching and you happen to be listening to Caching in the Northwest, join us live on a Thursday night, 9 p.m. and put in a hashtag FATAS, FTAS, and we'll answer that. And it could be your very question of, hey, wait a minute, I went looking for this cache and I didn't find it. What am I doing wrong?
There you go. Hey, the other thing you could do is you could go to cachingnw.com and find the shirts, and you could get your own FATAS shirt, show up at an event wearing a FATAS shirt, and then you could just start talking about things, and people would say,
and you will be noticed.
I'm FATAS. And then I don't know. I really don't know where it would go from there.
You want to sing a song about it?
Not at this moment.
Okay.
But I
was shocked you did that. I just thought, oh, he won't do it, but I'm going to put him on the spot. And you did. And you pulled out a winner of a song.
Thank you. Well, there
you made Sherpa Bob's night, he says.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, Sherpa Bob, hope you have a great birthday. What do you think, buddy? Time to wrap her up?
I think so. We have IHAM trying to derail the FATAS and talk about non-geocaching related location-based games. And I told him, we'll do an entire episode about Pokemon Go.
Without me. Okay.
Perfect. Okay. It's a location-based game.
Yep. All right. Okay. I like that last FATAS. There you go. Land Monkey Rocks. Thank you. Thanks very much.
It's Earth Cache related.
Yeah, I guess. My own shirt I should make for myself. All right. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We've had a lot of fun. You guys just make this show fun with the interactive chat in the after show.
You really do. We appreciate each and every one of you. And as I like to say each week, until next week, get out and get caching in the Northwest.